The doubleheader on Wednesday night starts with the women's game, Queens versus Wingate. And we're joined by the head coach of the women's basketball team, Sarah Jansen. Coach, before the break back in December, you started to look like a new team. You rattled off 3 wins in 4 games, your first 3 wins of the season. And that momentum has kind of continued into the month of January. From your perspective, what do you see?
I see a team that's starting to kind of find our identity. You know, we want what we want to be known for when people watch us play, what they want to see. We want to bring an exciting brand of team basketball that our university can get proud of.
You have a chance here to make history. At no point in the time in the South Atlantic Conference has the women's basketball team made the top 8 and made the conference tournament. You're in position, if the season ended today, to do that, and even more improved position after the win over the 9th place team, Tusculum, on Saturday. Is that something that you talk about with your team at all?
We do. I think there's a fine line between being aware of what's going on around you and letting that play too much into what we're trying to do. So we do talk about it. We look at the standings when we watch film just so they have an understanding of where we are placement-wise. And, you know, ultimately we want to be able to give our student athletes the best experience, and nothing compares to going to the SAC tournament.
Let's talk a little bit about the Tusculum game before we move on to Wingate. I thought it was your best performance of the season, given a couple of factors. First off, it was the end of a tough week, 3 games in 6 days. But also you needed to go win a game to kind of talk about that positioning in the standings that we were talking about. And you did. And not only did you do it, you did it in a pretty hostile environment and won by double digits. Your thoughts on the Tusculum game that I think was your best performance of the season?
Tusculum has a great tradition of women's basketball in the SAC. I guess it was 5 years ago they went to the Elite 8. And to be able to go and win any game is a big deal, but especially in the SAC, to be able to go and win on the road is huge. Really proud of where our team is right now and how we're learning to kind of compete together and compete for each other. And you know, like I said, winning on the road is huge, and that was a big game for us to be able to cap off a good week of basketball, playing, you know, played Lincoln Memorial tough, and then turned around and played Lenore Ryan tough. And I think every kid in the country to tell you they'd rather play than practice. So that was a big deal for us to be able to get those 3 games. Started
the week with a 10-point loss to Lincoln Memorial. That was really a one-possession game most of the way. Talking about a different team that we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Partially that includes the inclusion of Mendy McNeese at point guard back into the lineup, and Cheyenne Logan for the first time making her debut in a Queens uniform. Some new parts: Cheyenne, a transfer from Lenore Ryan. McNeese, Mendy is a transfer Division I from East Tennessee State. What have they done more X's and O's wise that has made your team more successful in the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think you start with your point guard and be able to bring the ball up the floor with some confidence and get organized. Mendy also has the ability to knock down shots from the outside, so that kind of stretches our you know, what we can do on the offensive end. And then you got Shy on the inside, who can really be another presence for us. She does a great job. She's probably one of our best competitors. So to be able to have her out there, you know, during the game, she's been on the practice floor with us, but to get her out there in the game kind of brings a different piece that we've been missing as far as the athleticism, the presence on the inside, and being able to rebound and defend. So you add those 2 things, you know, anytime I think you can bring a point guard into the mix, that plays a big difference. Been really pleased with Maggie Stewart and how she's been playing on the inside, and now we kind of have some options. We can look at things that other teams are doing and see what we need to do matchup wise to be able to give our best chance to compete.
Maggie Stewart, you mentioned a senior that's come on strong for you. Started the first 4 games, the last 4 games for you here in the new year. Let's talk a little bit about Wingate now. This is obviously a local rival for you guys, a team that's been a traditional power in the South Atlantic Conference. So far the last couple of years. What do you see from this Wingate team?
Wingate, in my opinion, as far as I know in the SAC, they're one of the top teams, you know, year in and year out. They have great balance, great depth. They have a post player on the inside that can really get the job done. They have guard play. They just have a little bit of everything. They have some veteran players back. They have some youth, and it's just really a really good blend. And I think Coach Hancock's done a great job. I believe she's in her 5th year now, so she does a really good job over there at Wingate.
Well, Queens and Wingate on Wednesday night. It all starts at 6 o'clock, the doubleheader, the women's game first. It's Greek night, by the way, for the Greek organizations on campus. Come on out. The one who comes out in the most full force, we get a free pizza party. Also, check out our video broadcast at queensathletics.com/Royals Live. Sarah Jansen, head coach of the women's basketball team. Coach, appreciate it. It's fun with the camera.
Thanks, Phil.